Hey everyone, welcome back to another... Better? Yes, better. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video in the world of 9, and this time with a challenge during lockdown. It turns out that I have a neighbor who is very creative, has a strong mindset, has very good skills in the kitchen, which by the way has been my territory for the last couple of days and weeks, and I'm sure you spent a lot of time here as well during lockdown. He also won Chopped here in the United States, and for all of those who don't know what Chopped is, this is a cooking program, and I was very impressed by his story.
Second place is just the first loser in my book. On his way to the best.
Along with a pea and mint puree, along with chorizo.
Very competitive and bigger, better than anybody else. I'm the executive chef of Fiamma Trattoria at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada. We do modern Italian food and we focus on fresh pasta, keeping that as the star. Some of the best chefs in the business work here at MGM Grand. Chef Morimoto, fry it and grind it into a flour. And incorporate that into its streusel mix, which is butter, sugar, and flour.
The challenge was born. He already accepted the challenge, so now the next step is to complete the challenge. Let's go. I will pack a bag with ingredients who are very difficult to combine, and I don't know if they fit together or how you can get the maximum taste out of them to come up with a nice menu, and let's see how the chef makes a beautiful dish with my ingredients. Welcome, Chef.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I cook for a living, in short. I hope everyone's staying safe and healthy right now. I moved here from Las Vegas just about a year ago. Right now, unfortunately, during COVID-19 lockdown, everything's on lockdown. Apart from that, I just like cooking for a living, and like she said, I have a very strong mindset of my own and my own theories to why I do what I do. So we'll see what she's got for us over here in this basket. Let's get started.
Magical bag, 9 ingredients.
I don't know if you guys can see, but she's way taller, so I can't even look inside the bag.
I'm going to show you. This is number 1.
It's just like Christmas all over again.
Yeah.
I really thought this was a bottle of vodka.
I went fishing the other day, and I froze mackerel. Steaks.
My least favorite fish.
I thought so, because to be honest, this is the first time I prepare mackerel. Why not ask that the chef? Number 2.
Okay. Oh, ever so trustworthy cherry tomatoes.
This, how do you call this cabbage?
Napa cabbage.
Napa cabbage?
Yeah, very, very good. I like the texture on this. It retains a little bit of crunch. Has a little less water than regular cabbage, so it's really good for stir fries and such. So it's amazing.
Rice?
No peas. Very nice, very crunchy and sweet.
I'm sure everybody has this at home.
Red beet potato. Okay. These are starchy, so you guys gotta know your potato too. You got a lot of people buy potatoes and then they'll say, well, my a potato's not just a potato. People will say, why my mashed potatoes are gummy and this and that. Of course, a lot of it's got to do with cooking technique, but you also got to pick the right potato because the moisture content and the starch levels. These are very, very good. People use them a lot in breakfast. They're very, very good for that. They have a good amount of sweetness to them, so it works well with salty bacon.
Before quarantine started to happen, I thought, I need some sardines. You never know how long you have to stay inside.
Literally every ingredient that I hate is what she's pulling out of the bag, but we will work with it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 2 more to save my life.
An egg?
1, guys. We're on a budget.
Garlic. Do you think we can make something out of that?
So I think we can make a couple dishes out of this.
Because I'm a foodie and I love food. Restaurant, I like to enjoy a starter, a main, and a dessert. I have a little joker backup with me as well for dessert. These are actually snacks.
It's a mystery box. I mean, there's nothing in it.
Apricots and almonds. I always use these as a snack for in between. But maybe we can come up with something for a dessert. Another brown paper bag.
All right, that's a good one. I like citrus. Citrus is probably one of my favorite flavors. It's so refreshing. And a beautiful banana. Guys, don't freak out because this banana is oxidized. It doesn't mean your banana's bad. It's just oxidized. It's what it does when it's in contact with oxygen. As a matter of fact, if you're using a banana in your dessert, or that's the intention, I like roasting my bananas in the oven with the skin on. Think about it. It actually reduces the amount of sugar you're going to have to use in the dessert. Literally takes the water content out and concentrates the sugar. So if you're ever making banana bread or any pudding, roast your banana, fold it in. That much less need for any added sweetener. There's a little fun tip. Literally fun tip.
I think this is a good one because a lot of people buy bananas and they think, you know, have to buy them green and yellow and have to eat them when they are yellow. But
I freeze my bananas. I freeze them because if I buy 6 at a time, I'll sometimes I even chop them up and freeze them. And then when I make my smoothie, I use frozen bananas instead of ice cubes.
That's a good one. The smoothie. One last one. Sometimes I crave something from my childhood. My mom always made that with butter and cinnamon. Do you know this product?
I know exactly. I know this brand too. I've done this. I've imported this at some of my restaurants. So basically cornmeal, right?
Yeah. Give you some time to process the ingredients of what we're gonna do with them. And then let's go right into the kitchen for some magic. Farina, egg, garlic, some snacks, sardine, water base, pomodoro, fresh mackerel, and the
Chef, yeah, that's an important ingredient. So something that takes a long time to cook is rice.
I do believe in colors.
I agree with that. I believe in colors.
Like a traffic light, I make sure I get one of these colors in every dish.
I was trying to think what's in a traffic light. Okay, I mean, if you break it down, it's basically chlorophyll, carotenoids, so something that's in a carrot, that's in a tomato, that would all qualify as that.
Yes. Pilaf.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Or some countries it's called a pulav, or it's a flavored rice, aromatic rice. So because you gave me tomatoes, I think I'm gonna make a tomato flavored rice.
Like a risotto kind of thing?
Like a vegetable paella. Sweat some garlic.
Plain rice goes in there.
Goes in there, and this is a method that's called parching the rice, where you toast the rice. In simple words, it's toasting. So basically what happens is you're making the rice nice and nutty by cooking it like that, and it seals the rice, so it gives it a nice shiny texture. It'll keep a little bit of its crunch. So I'm just toasting the rice a little bit. Put a little salt, because you season every layer. That's how you build flavors. And for people who don't believe me and tell me you can season in the end, I will tell you what. Give yourself a trick that one of my chefs had taught me a long time ago. Take an onion, carrot, and celery. You know, a lot of people put them together and make a base of any vegetable or a stew or a soup and season it in the end. Do that in a pot and then do another pot. Put them in order of how they cook. Carrot takes the longest, so put your carrot in, season it, go 5 minutes, put your celery, cook it, put a little more salt. Put your onion, takes the least amount of time to cook it, put a little salt. Now mix it up and taste it. I promise you, your mind will be blown. Because what salt does is essentially draws out the water, which is actually extracting flavor. So when you extract flavors, you're layering flavors. So layer like a player, right?
It smells beautiful in here. Unfortunately, there is no TV yet with smells, but will come soon.
Cherry tomatoes. Probably gonna give that another 3 or 4 minutes so that raw tomato taste cooks out, and then I'm gonna add a little water. I would probably like to add, let's see what I have in here. Be careful when you add any of these bases, because they're salty. You can do anything you want. A lot of the times what I do, have vegetables that are on the tail end of their shelf life. I like to make a puree out of any vegetable. For example, if you have green peas or beans or carrots or anything that's going bad, you puree it and put it in, and now you have a carrot risotto or whatever. And then you can take a little bit of that vegetable also and garnish it on top. So you can flavor your risotto or whatever, pilaf. You have cilantro that's going bad. Make yourself a cilantro rice. You have a mint that's going bad. Make yourself a pesto and store it. Just cutting them in nice little diamonds. Beautiful shape. 30 seconds. That's it, because they will carry over. They have the residue heat in them. Sometimes what I do is also, one of the sides we used to serve in one of my restaurants was we would boil a pot of butter, literally take these peas, dunk them in, and take them out. So they were just boiled in butter. And holy shit, they were good.
Now it's cabbage time.
It's a little smoking because you see sesame oil in there.
Yes, I like sesame oil.
Yeah, I do too. So I'll turn this away from me. Whenever you're putting something, dip your pan a little forward so the oil goes. If not, I would have had that splatter on me right now. Let's keep.
So one of the favorites, sardines.
All I'm doing is running my finger through them and dragging them out. There you go. Just the center bone. Really easy. Push and pull. That's all it is. It's a dance. I mean, you learn how to dance. It's pretty simple. I'm pushing, and as the food rolls forward, you notice I push. You see how that rolls? And I pull. I push and I pull.
Sardines with the cabbage.
So I'm gonna hit a little acid. I would hate to put cream and butter in order to make it into a risotto. It's like taking an ingredient, it's like making a fish climb a tree. That's not what it's meant to do. So this one retains that beautiful grain and that long texture that you see. So enjoy it, and as long as it's delicious, you'll see. But what we'll do here now, quick little saute. No butter today, guys. We got a healthy person in the house, so we'll keep it like that.
But then you keep it on like high fire?
Nope. We'll cook one. Little salt, little pepper. Everybody's keeping parsley in their pantry nowadays, so I figured I'd get a little. I don't know. Let's see what we're gonna do with this curveball. We are going to throw her a curveball. One basic thing is season every layer. So a little salt, little pepper. Because mackerel is such a flavorful fish and it's got all those oily stuff in it, you want to counteract that with something strong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Cajun spice. And the reason I'm putting Cajun spice is, if you think about it, tomato from the rice and the Cajun spice also will tie in together. So although every dish is its own and we're not trying to build one cohesive menu here, it will still play in pretty well. So tomato and Cajun will work really well together. So all I'm doing is I'm crusting this bit of. I know we were expecting to make a dessert, but I think I literally changed my mind 5 minutes ago. But I don't want to use too big of a pan for too little of a fish, because it's always right tool for right job. Now guys, again, same thing. Dropping the fish away from you so the oil never climbs onto your hand. Kitchen accidents are not fun. Right back on the fire. Now if you use a pan that's too big, you're going to end up burning it because there's too much surface heat. I'm going to take the potatoes. I'm a firm believer in using everything. Now if this was a boiled potato, you could start it on high because then it'll give it color quicker than it cooks. The potato probably 3 minutes or 4 minutes on each side. It's still soft. When it starts firming up, probably about 3 minutes on each side as well. Because like you said, it's a freshwater fish, and then we also let it sit at room temperature for a little bit, so it thawed out. If you're cooking a fillet of fish or something with skin, the skin is a natural way of protecting the fish, and also crispy skin is a delicious way of eating the protein. So I recommend cooking the fish about 70-75% of the way on the skin, because if you're cooking it on the unprotected side, you're also drying out the moisture from the fish, so which you will need to cover up with a sauce or add any moisture. So I always recommend cooking it on the skin side. I'm gonna roast the lemon so it gives it a nice flavor. At the same time, it's perfuming the fish while it cooks. Squeeze it a little bit. See that?
Yes.
Cooking terminology, we call it GBD, golden brown delicious.
Do you know yet what you're gonna do with the egg?
I'm on the banana, I'll just eat it, but does that count?
Nope. You need like special banana?
Any bananas. Well, when you're baking bananas, the rawer the banana is, it's not, as long as it's not as ripe, probably better.
Sugar.
Just granulated sugar. Yes. But I do eat quite a bit of sweets. In go the bananas. I just made myself a double boiler, so there's no direct heat, because I want to cook the egg yolk nice and slow. I mean, if you have a KitchenAid, by all means. But you see what is happening? But you got to take it off the heat. I'm making a sweet hollandaise, which in our world is called sabayon. Happen to have some vanilla. Let me just take it off the fire.
Of the bowl important?
You want to have a little larger bowl because you want it to cook, so the egg needs to touch a warm surface area. But obviously I have one egg because someone decided to get me one egg. Your banana is beautifully caramelizing. But you see, such simple flavors, and the tomato comes through right when it needs to.
Yeah. The little magic box. These are power ingredients. Almonds, lots of protein.
I love apricots.
Almonds chopped with a little bit of oil.
Little salt always to balance out the flavors. I mean, it's just to bring out the nuttiness in the almond, because the almond has essential oils. And then to soften the apricot a little bit, because the banana is so nice and gooey. There you go. That's it. I put water in between too. Basically, I steam the egg, right? That's how you make pudding. The potatoes will work well with the mackerel, because the mackerel is a strong flavored fish, and the potatoes will help balance out, because the potatoes are naturally creamy, so you won't need a sauce, because the creamy potato is going to act to balance out the dish a little bit. Beautiful mackerel, right on top. Put some of your fresh herbs. So now what I like to do, the reason I put good olive oil on the plate like that, is if you squeeze the lemon on, you have yourself a nice vinaigrette. There you go, bam. There's your first dish. We can do ourselves a favor and give ourselves a side of cabbage with sardines. That is the only herb we have.
Very stylish. Colorful.
Healthy.
As you can see, there's a contrast in color. The colors pop.
I only owe you one color, which is the orange and the yellow, so there's cup. Dude, that's what I got. Smelly sardines and one potato. This was actually a pretty fun ingredient. I was thinking I'll make a dessert out of it for the first part, but why do something that's already on the box? We'll do it out of the box. So we crusted the mackerel with that, and also crusted potatoes. We did a very simple vinaigrette, which is a roasted lemon. It should actually be very cool, because the mackerel's a oily fish, and the lemon juice will really help counterbalance that. Fresh parsley should brighten the dish up. This is a little bit of Napa cabbage that's still cooked to a crisp on a high flame. Little sesame oil and sesame seed. Fresh parsley on top again. And here is where the sardines are. They should give it a little meatiness to the dish. Tomato basmati rice. We literally used regular cherry tomatoes in a can and made a pilaf style dish. We layered the flavors, so it'll be very, very aromatic and flavorful. I used the snow peas to do a quick saute and drop it on top for some crunch and textural contrast. Also color contrast, and it actually pairs really well. That was a dish that was pretty much made on the fly in the last 3 minutes. We caramelized and crusted a banana, seared it on the flat top, made the almonds and the apricots, cooked them down a little bit, and then with the one egg that she was kind enough to donate, I made a little bit of a pudding sauce by cooking it on a double boiler, so steaming the egg. So I think we have a pretty balanced meal.
Works. I like the salt, the saltiness, the salty sardines.
A little bit of the bitter comes through from the sardines being cooked.
A little bit of a nutty taste as well.
This is actually, I'm looking forward to it quite a bit.
I like the contrast. Red and green. The peas are sweet. And the rice with the tomato, it balances it out again.
Very much.
I like it.
I'm gonna feed my friend a little bit too. Here you go. No, not for you. Oh, that's a yes. Okay, that's a yes. What we were intended to do with this lemon, you got yourself a simple vinaigrette.
Now I'm curious how these turn out. I never had farina in a main dish, only as dessert.
Or a side dish.
Or a side dish.
Here, you take that.
Ooh, the fish looks nice. There's a bone. Oh, wow.
Works.
Nutty, creamy, but it's perfect. It's balanced as well. He's good in balancing. Are you good in like
That's actually the worst thing I can't balance. I don't know what you want to call it, a banana pudding or a toffee. So apricot, banana, and like a little egg sauce. This one will feed the camera right off the bat.
How is it? Do you have a sweet tooth?
I do have a sweet tooth. That's why I keep a chef as my friend.
Oh, that's very important. This is well balanced. I really thought it's gonna be sweet because we used some sugar.
You gotta remember, there was only a teaspoon that coated the banana on each side. We literally made a dessert in like 3 minutes.
And the vanilla. Ooh guys, you definitely need to try that one. And I'm sure if you have some other extra ingredients and toppings, this one goes off the roof. I'm very impressed with the chef.
In decent time.
In decent time. An hour 15 with all the ingredients you have seen in the beginning of the video. He made 4 courses. The rice, the cabbage with the zucchinis, the fish with the potatoes, and for all the sweet tooth, caramelized banana with apricots and almonds. Nothing much to say.
Nothing much to say. What I was really surprised, I was hoping to use a little more of the pantry or some of the ingredients that I had, but surprisingly we didn't use anything more than salt, pepper, and vanilla and sugar, I guess.
I think even though if you would have used some flour or other things, we would have lunch menu ready.
Like I said before, we could have definitely made this a little more visually pleasing and appealing for the sake of selling it. But if I was at home and I got this to eat, I don't think I'd be very upset.
So I also got your questions. I am very impressed by what the chef has done in this very short time. What we had, a perfect meal, and I was actually really surprised how this mackerel and the cabbage turned out. I think you heard that too. He wants to get back in the kitchen with a planned meal, and I can't wait. What that would be, it's your time to give us some suggestions. What about a homemade pasta with a good filling? Because I've never done that, and Italian food is one of my favorite cuisines as well. Whenever you have a question or want a tip from a professional, you can follow him on his Instagram. He shares daily stories from the kitchen and his dishes, what he creates. The industries we both work in have a lot of similarities, and it's very inspiring to hear a story from another standpoint, like from another industry. I also got your questions, which I will ask him now, and since the video might be a little bit too long, I will answer them in another video for you to check out. Give us a thumbs up. If you have questions, anything, let us know. We will read the comments. Let's go to another video. Bye.